Uub, Goku's little buddy at the end of DBZ and into GT, the reincarnation of Kid Buu, a character with seemingly limitless potential. But how strong is Uub? On this video, we're going to talk about it.
Greetings everyone, Cell here. Subscribe to this perfect channel and follow Geekdom on the social media platforms. That will be all.
At the very end of the Dragon Ball manga, Toriyama introduced a brand new character to Dragon Ball. He also appeared in the last 3 episodes of Dragon Ball Z. We're talking about Uub. Uub is the reincarnation of Majin Buu, specifically Kid Buu, where Goku, as he killed Kid Buu, actually asked King Yama for a favor to reincarnate Kid Buu as Uub. Then the 10-year time skip happened, which is where Super takes place, and then Uub finally appeared in the 28th tournament at the end of Dragon Ball Z, where Goku met him, and then they flew off the train, and that's how DBZ and the Dragon Ball manga ended. The idea, of course, was that Goku wanted to fight against an opponent like Kid Buu, who was very durable, very hard to beat, but didn't want him to be evil. That way they could train and become rivals and whatnot. Well, on this video, we're going to talk about just how strong Uub is. And unfortunately, because the Dragon Ball story ends with Goku and Uub flying off, we really can't talk too much about what would have happened without going into GT. So we're going to have to use GT here as a measuring stick because we have no other measuring stick. So before some numbskull out there starts yelling out cannon, 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 just shut up because we have no other way of measuring this man's power without using GT. And who the fuck cares if it's canon or not? It's a freaking video. Let's have fun in life and not attack others. No, I'm not triggered, okay? Let's talk about this shit, all right? Uub, joining me to talk about Uub, please welcome from Geek List TV, one of my favorites, MJ. Hello, MJ.
What's up, Danny? Thank you for having me back on the channel, man. It's always an honor to collab with you.
And you know what's funny, bro? The fact that people talk shit about GT, but just as many fans love Uub, and they want to see more of Uub. I think people are fascinated by Uub, and we're going to talk about that here. But first, I want everybody to pause the video, click the link down in the description, and go subscribe to Geek List TV. Tons of content on there, anime related, few interviews here and there with some people. You want to check out Geek List TV, the sister channel of Geekdom 101, if you will. So, MJ, let's talk about Uub. The potential behind this character, all right? That's the first thing we should discuss. Kid Buu. His main thing was he was so damn durable, so hard to beat. However, he was a pink gum character. Obviously, Uub is a human, and Uub is, without a doubt, the strongest human potentially. Full human, even though he is a reincarnation of a Majin, which is, again, asterisk on that one. In GT, we see Uub training with Goku, and Uub is actually, and of course, GT is 5 years after DBZ. I know that in the dub, they said 10 years. That is incorrect. We don't count dub terms here. 5 years after the end of Z. Goku at the end of Z is ridiculously powerful. Whether or not you factor in Super, he's really, really strong. And then we've got Uub, and they're going back and forth in the training in the very first GT episode. So where does that put Uub at just initially?
Initially, you have to factor in Goku in space. When he meets Rildo, bro, he actually says that Rildo's above Majin Buu. We don't know what form, though. Goku never actually...
Whoa, hold on. You're jumping ahead.
Well, I was just going to say...
I'm talking about just the beginning first.
Okay, well, I would have to say, though, at the beginning, Goku has to be at least Super Saiyan 3 level in his base, which would put Uub around that level as well, since Uub was basically throwing hands with him in the Room of Spirit and Time in the beginning of GT.
That's right. Now, let's get to your point. Later on in the series, of course, Goku becomes a kid. He faces off against General Ruldo, and in this fight, he states that General Ruldo is, I think he said, as strong as Majin Buu, or maybe even stronger. Now, he doesn't specify which form, but it doesn't matter which form we're talking about. Just the fact that Goku was fighting him in his base as a child, that is impressive enough. Just write that in there. We're going to use Ruldo as a measuring stick here.
Alright, so using Rildo as a measuring stick, now, I do believe Goku does clarify that he's stronger than Buu, and base Goku was actually beating him, bro. Like, base Goku was actually taking some hits, and he was getting excited, and Rildo had to bring out the Sigma Force to actually kind of get a grasp of Goku, and that's what led to the whole transformation and blah, blah, blah. But the fact of the matter is, to be stronger than Buu in your base, bro, that's pretty strong, you know what I mean? And I think everybody would agree with that. Everybody kind of just has that in their head that Goku is at least SSJ3 level, and then you factor in the whole statements with Rildo, and you factor in the battle. Now,
well, I just want to say I think he would actually have to be stronger than SS3 in his base at that point, because SS3 Goku against Kid Buu lost. Goku could not beat Kid Buu in SS3. He just couldn't. Buu was too hard to kill, and he hit him with everything. He couldn't do it. So Rildo is stronger than Buu, and not even Goku could measure up against Buu. So that means that Goku in his base is beyond SS3 during the fight with Rildo. Now, moving forward, later on in the same arc, we have Goku fighting against Baby Vegeta. Not even the grade 8 version, just regular Baby Vegeta, and he whoops his ass in SS3. So think about this for a minute, all right? We're going to try and scale this. You've got Kid Goku, right? Stronger than SS3 in his base. Add that with actual Super Saiyan 3 transformation. So now we've got, 50 times multiplier, another times 2, then another times, what, another times 4?
4, yeah.
So, I'm not even going to do the numbers right now, but pretty damn strong, all right? So, and even in SS3, Goku had no chance against Baby Vegeta.
People will use the fact that SS3 is like a very draining form, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But the fact of the matter is, Goku, like, from the time that Goku just threw that punch, Baby tanked it, bro. Like, Baby Vegeta literally smiled back at him after Goku threw that punch, you know what I mean? Now, they were colliding, but the fact of the matter is, Baby was durable enough, and he was stronger than Goku at that point. So I would like to clarify that, because people do kind of blame the SS3 form for Goku losing that fight, which is not the case. So
yeah, no, I don't think that's the case either. Plus, by that time, you can presume that Goku mastered it, because even though we're not using Dragon Ball Super logic here, a lot of people have theorized that by the time Goku fought Beerus, that Goku was indeed, his SS3 had been mastered by then. Now, we don't know that for sure, but if you were to use Dragon Ball Super, and again, we're not going to use it because it cannot fit with GT. In Super, Goku uses SS3 like nothing and never has any issues. So,
yeah.
Not often, but he does. So, again, I think that whole, like, I couldn't figure it out thing was only for the Buu arc. So again, this version of SS3 Goku as a kid is way stronger than DBZ SS3 Goku. Well, I want to talk about Majub, because really this video was inspired by how strong Majub is. Majub is the fusion of Uub and Fat Buu. They refused. Some people think that he's Super Buu level. No, because if Uub was able to fight hand-in-hand with base adult Goku at the beginning of the series, even though Goku was suppressed, it doesn't matter. Uub may have been suppressed. I think the power of Uub with Fat Buu getting that boost and fighting Baby Vegeta, this means that up until the Baby Saga, we're not going to talk about Super 17, and we're not going to talk about the Shadow Dragons, just the Baby arc. I feel like Majub is the third strongest character in GT at that point. You got Goku as number 1, Super Saiyan 4, right? Unrivaled. You've got Golden Uzaru Baby as number 2, and then you've got Uub at number 3. Majub, who else can fuck with him? Gohan sure as shit can't. Goten and Trunks can't.
To actually back up your point, to clarify this, when Uub shows up, right, on the Tuffle planet, or whatever you want to prefer to call it, when he shows up on that planet to save Pan, basically, he does state that he took his siblings or his family into the mountains so he can train and to protect them. So this Uub that shows up before even fighting Baby after fusing with Buu, he's actually stronger than the Uub that was shown in the beginning of GT. I mean, obviously he trained. We can't really say how much he got stronger, but the fact is he still polished his skills. You know what I mean? So I would just like to clarify that as well.
And the fact that he fought Vegeta Baby, I think he performed better than SS3 Goku as a kid, dude. I think he did, really.
Yeah, he definitely did. There's a scene where he actually is able to shoot off Baby, and Gohan, Trunks, Goten, who are all possessed, they all are infected. They all show up to help him, and Baby tells him, "Nah, you're out of his league." So he was saying that Uub could pretty much take out everybody else there, and Baby was actually starting to have some enjoyment while fighting Uub. So that should tell you right there how strong Uub is.
So with the Majub stacker, bro, like this guy, I mean, I would say I don't want to compare him to later characters. I don't think he's as strong as Super 17 because Super 17's got a couple of hacks, as you call it. That's one of your phrases, or maybe it was one of Seth's. I don't remember. And then obviously the Shadow. Okay, I would say Uub could probably take out. My opinion, he could probably take out at least 4 of the Shadow Dragons. I don't think he can beat the Fire, the Ice, and the Omega, but I think he can beat the other 4. I really do.
It's actually hard to scale say because people will talk about how inconsistent, DBZ is, and some people actually paint GT as a very perfect show. I love GT, but it is very inconsistent. Now, I hate to bring this up, like I really do, Geekdom, but the fact of the matter is, even though 17 had hacks, he pretty much mopped the floor with a full power Super Saiyan Vegeta. He mopped the floor with Goten, Trunks, Gohan, and Uub, and then Goku later comes in. He's swapping hands with him in his regular Super Saiyan form. So it's like the power scale really rises. But I will say this without a doubt. Uub is probably the 3rd strongest character in the baby arc, but once we get past the baby arc, it's kind of hard where to put him. We don't really know where to put him because think about it like this: the Perfect Files, again, whether you want to take this with a grain of salt or not, the Perfect Files do state that Gohan doesn't neglect his training in GT, so we don't even know if Gohan got stronger. The scale is always moving up in GT. It's very inconsistent,
Yeah, very much so, very much so. But we're still gonna do the best we can. So, still, like even before the Dragon arc and even Super 17, I would say Uub is there. And actually, I would go so far as to say that even if you include the Shadow Dragon arc, obviously Goku would be at the top. And Vegeta there too. Actually, you could not fusion, but I would say Omega Shenron, just based on pure power, is probably stronger than all of them. But
yeah,
still, the point is, I think that even if you include that arc, I think Uub's still in the top 10 without question. I think he's stronger than Gohan. He's stronger than anybody not named Goku, Vegeta, or the villain. So at the end of GT, bro, Majub is the 3rd strongest good guy, babyface, whatever you want to say, hero in the series.
Yeah, I would have to definitely agree with that. I really would.
Yep, and that's it. So that should tell you now what will Super do with Uub. Obviously, Super hasn't gotten to that part of the timeline yet. If Super passes the end of Z, maybe we'll see him, but this is all based on just Z and GT, very little Super because we don't have any information yet. But let us know your thoughts. Do you think that Uub was the 3rd strongest? Can you think of anybody else who might be stronger than him? Of course, we're talking about good guys, not villains, because the Dragons and Super 17 is a different story. Also, do you think Uub was wasted? Because I do believe that he was. There was more potential to use that character, I thought. I don't think they utilized him to his best. So, everybody check out Geek List, and we'll talk to y'all down the road.